You are going to be making next a spring roll. We're taking a break from the cake making methods and we are going back to our knife skills. You are nearly at the end of this unit. You've got one more practical after this one that forms part of your 12 weeks in food technology and design technology. So we have to see how far you've come with your knife skills. Have you improved from that very, very first pasta salad that you made where you chop your vegetables? So we are going to be assessing your knife skills. You are going to be doing some knife skills that are incredibly complex. You're going to be doing some julienne matchsticks. You're going to be doing some brunoise, which are tiny, tiny little dice. You're going to be doing some jardiniere batons. Think your little carrot sticks that you get in McDonald's and places like that. You're going to do some macédoine, which are medium dice, and you're going to just do some random chopping, which is called paysanne in lots of different shapes. All of those carrots that you're going to chop, because obviously it would be a waste if you just chopped carrots and then binned them, because not everybody likes to just eat carrots. That's why we're making spring rolls, because those carrots will go into a vegetable spring roll then, along with all the other ingredients that will be pre-prepared for you.
Yes, can we bring them?
What did I say about questions? Okay. No, I didn't say hands up. I said save your questions till the end. Right? A spring roll, I will answer that because that is important, is a little pastry. You get it in Chinese cooking, and it is a little crispy roll that's usually filled with meat or vegetables. We are just making a vegetable spring roll, okay? You will need to bring in £1 for all your ingredients, which is good value because these ingredients are quite expensive. You'll get half a carrot to work with. So I never peel my carrots. You can peel them if you want to. I just wash them. Because all of the nutrition, all of that fibre and all of the nutrients and the vitamins that are good for you tend to live right under the skin. So I keep them on because you can't really taste the skin. It's not like a potato where the skin has got a really thick skin. You can't really tell with a carrot, especially when it's in something. So I leave the skin on. Just remove the end bit and pop that in the bin. And then you are going to do your paysanne cuts first of all, which are your random shapes. So you might start with you might start with circles, you might leave one as a whole circle, you might chop one into a quarter so it's more like triangles, you might do another circle, you might take its edges off so it's a square. But paysanne is just random shapes that don't really matter, and that's a paysanne chop, okay? Just put that to one side until you need it, and then you're going to do some different types of chops. You are going to do a matchstick, and a matchstick is like a cube. So to get a cube, you're going to chop off the sides, so you're kind of peeling, but we're going to use them, so don't bin them. They're going to form something else in a minute. Chop off the sides so that you've got one big cube. Put them to one side because they're going to become something in a second. Chop that in half, and you'll see I'm being very careful with the claw and the bridges that I'm using. And then you've got, yeah, you've got your, they're called jardiniere, they're batons, they're your carrot sticks. I'm just going to use 2 in my photograph, maybe 3 in my photograph, 3 in my photograph to one side. This one is going to become our dice, our macédoine. I know they're all French names, I don't expect you to be able to remember the French names, just remember that we've got random shapes, batons. This one is going to become our medium-sized dice. So we chop down until they become cubes. There's our medium-sized dice, and I'm just going to put maybe 3 of them to one side for my dice. These dice here, I'm going to chop them even smaller. They are going to become what's called brunoise, and they are tiny dice. And I'm being so careful to tuck my fingernails right under so that I'm not chopping my skin or my fingernails. I'm not cutting myself, and they are tiny, tiny, tiny little dice, and I'm just going to put them to one side. Those dice aren't very even. Quality control, I'm going to go back and make them a bit more even. There we go. There's my tiny dice. The final one you're going to do is called jardiniere, and jardiniere is like matchsticks, and that's what I'm going to use these bits for that I cut off. I'm going to do a really, really precise claw, tucking my fingernails right under. I'm going to hold my knife tight on the handle, and I'm just going to use the tip of the knife to cut incredibly thin matchsticks. And that is called jardiniere, and these are what need to be in our spring rolls. Everything in our spring roll needs to be cut really finely. If you've ever had a spring roll in the Chinese takeaway or the Chinese restaurant, the vegetables inside, you don't get big chunks of vegetables, you get really, really thin vegetables. So I'm even going back, quality controlling, making them as thin as I can, where they're a bit wide like that, going back down, chopping them thinner. And you would do that with all the pieces. It's a bit thick, that one. And then just choose a few of those, and I'll show you what you do with those in a second. Just finish these off. Okay, and when you've done all your little matchsticks, choose a few that look nice, that look all even. And they will go into our spring roll in a second. Then you are going to get one of these pieces of paper each, and they'll be laminated and in colour tomorrow, so they'll look a bit nicer than this one. And you are going to get each of your cuts, and next to the julienne, you're going to put your julienne to show how good yours are compared to the picture. You're going to put your tiny dice. You're going to put your batons. You're going to put your medium dice, and you're going to put your random cuts. And then with either your Chromebook or your phone, if you have a phone with a camera, you are going to, I said save questions till later. If you have neither a Chromebook nor a phone, we have spare iPods and Chromebooks that you can use. You will take a photograph of your sheet with your cuts in it, and you will then share that with me or Sir, either onto Google Classroom or via email, and then we've got your assessed work there in a photograph form. Those can go back onto your chopping board because they are now going to be chopped up. The bigger ones are going to be chopped up smaller, ready to go into the spring rolls. So once you've chopped your carrots, you can go back over your dice, your jardiniere carrot sticks, and make them thinner. And your vegetables, then, I'm rushing, your vegetables then, they'll do. We'll go into a bowl. Now you can use a mixing bowl, Sir's just passed me this bowl because it was available. You could do this in a mixing bowl, one between two. You don't have to have your own mixing bowl because you're all putting the same fillings in, unless you have someone who does have an allergy to a particular ingredient in here, then you will need your own mixing bowl. So in there is some carrot. You're going to put some spring onion. It'll be pre-chopped for you. Just a small handful like that is enough. Bean sprouts. You always get bean sprouts in Chinese cookery. Just a few bean sprouts in there as well. And then there'll be a selection of peppers, different colours. Get a few bits of each colour. Maybe a couple of yellow, a couple of red, a couple of green. I don't think I chopped an orange one in this bowl yet. A few bits of colours of your pepper. Mix it up. You're also going to add a half a spoonful of ginger, grated ginger. Half a teaspoon, I know that's a big spoon. Half a teaspoon of grated ginger in there as well. Give it a stir. Shh. Then this is what really makes it taste Chinese. You add Chinese 5-spice. Chinese 5-spice contains 5 Chinese spices, funnily enough. Star anise, which is in a star shape, that's why it's called star anise. cinnamon is in there, as well as fennel seeds, black pepper and cloves. So we add a big tablespoon of that, and a big tablespoon of soy sauce is what makes our sauce. Always measure over the bowl, because if you accidentally measure too much, it doesn't matter. It goes straight into your bowl. Give them a stir, and you will have your vegetables there, marinating a little bit whilst you are going to prepare your pastry. It's not spicy, no, they're not spicy. Your pastry, phyllo pastry, we will buy shop bought for you. You can make your own phyllo pastry, and if you choose this as an option, by the time you get to year 11, you'll learn how to make phyllo pastry. But you'll see why we don't do it in year 7. Phyllo pastry in year 7, when we are working with it, is like paper. Shh. It is very thin sheets of pastry. That is pastry. You will get 2 sheets of pastry each, and you will make 6 spring rolls. Pastry will dry out. It will dry out, so you have to work quickly, or else it goes all crispy and it all flakes. You are going to chop it, first of all, into 3 equal columns like this, and then put the ones you're not using to one side. Ideally, whilst you're not using them, you could get a piece of kitchen roll and dampen it, and then put a damp tea towel over it. And then you are going to get some milk or eggs. You'll do it with egg tomorrow, but it's fine. You can use milk or egg. And it will help seal it together. So you'll get a pastry brush, and you can use milk or egg. Brush the pastry with the milk.
Will that make it stop?
It'll help it stick together. Take a pinch of your vegetables, put them inside your pastry. It's a big lump of ginger. Put a little bit of ginger in there. Some more carrot. A big chunk. Shh. You then fold over the sides like this, and then roll it, because it is a spring roll. You roll it up. It is fiddly. And then put that to one side until you're ready to cook them. So then we repeat. It is like the glue, yeah.
You have to use 2 sheets.
Use 2 sheets. If you only used 1 sheet, it would break when you rolled it. 2 sheets will make it stronger. So you put 2 sheets together to make the pastry stronger. Because I might make this look easy. Believe me, it is not easy. It is a very difficult thing to do, just to roll, and you will discover that tomorrow, I'm sure. So next, it is like rice paper. Next 2. I think this actually works better with milk than with egg, so I think we will use milk tomorrow rather than egg.
Is it like, do you fry them?
Yes, we're going to fry them. You will need, those vegetables are a bit long for this piece. If your vegetables come over the edge, just chop off enough so that you can fold it. If you don't fold it in at the sides, when you roll it, all your vegetables will fall out. So make sure you can fold over the sides and roll. And can I remind you that you are asking me relevant questions when I've finished demonstrating? Some bean sprout. Don't think there's any spring onion in that one. Some spring onion.
This is it like crunchy thing.
It will be a little crunchy. You are going to fry them. You will need 1 frying pan between 2 people. You don't need a frying pan each, and that's best for safety, because if you had a frying pan each, we'd have like 4 frying pans on every cooker, and there'd be hot oil in all of those frying pans, and we need to be safe. So 1 frying pan between 2 people, one of the nice big frying pans between 2 people is perfect, or maybe even between 3. You can do it in groups of 3 if you want to. So a little bit of each of the veggies again. Don't overfill them. If you overfill them, you'll find you can't roll it up. And then I've got 1 more to do.
How long does it take this?
To cook? Not long, about 4 minutes. And pastry. Fill in. Spring roll. Into my spring roll, fold the sides, roll it up.
It smells strong.
And then you will add 3 tablespoons of oil. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of oil to your pan. It is a lot of oil. Usually these are deep fried, but we're not using the deep fryers. We are using the just a normal shallow frying pan. Put it on a high heat to begin with. Ask questions at the end, please. There we go. Oil into the pan. This will get hot to the point where when I put my spring rolls in, it will start to spit. So just prior to putting the spring rolls in, I recommend that you turn the heat down slightly and make sure you use something, if you are worried, like some tongs. We do have some tongs available, and if you're working in pairs, we might even have enough. You could use some tongs, or you could use a fish slice to help put them in. Either way, or even a wooden spoon. A wooden spoon's better than nothing. So we're going to wait for that to heat up, and then you should be able to fit probably 8 spring rolls into the pan at once, but they only take a few minutes to cook. They don't take long. So once this starts to get hot, I'm going to put them in. I'm not going to put them in until it gets hot, because if they're just sat in the oil, what's going to happen to the pastry?
The pastry is going to get soaking out of the oil.
Yeah, the pastry will get really soggy and it won't go crispy. So we want it to be crispy. Spring rolls are nice and crispy on the outside, and the vegetables are still crunchy on the inside. So we want to make sure that they're being cooked properly. The heat will start to get hot in a minute. I can test how hot it is by putting in a little bit of vegetable. And when it starts to sizzle and hiss, I know that it's cooked. So I'm just going to leave that in there, and I'll know when it's starting to get hot, because the water from the carrot will start to make the oil sizzle. You can get either tongs. I'll show you with both. You can pick up your spring roll with tongs and pop it in, or with a fish slice, it doesn't really matter, and pop it in. Yeah, I'm going to put them all in. You'll probably fit, in a pan this size, you'll probably fit 8 to 10. I've easily fit 5 there, so I could fit another row of 5. So I'd easily fit 8 to 10. They only take a few minutes to cook, as you'll see. Now they're in the oil, I'm going to pop it back up. I'm going to take a step away from it. Make sure my pan handle's to the side, just because it will start to spit. There's a lot of water-based vegetables in there, and when you put water in oil, it will spit, it will hiss. Like just when you put a hot pan under the cold water, it will make that hissing noise. So just be really, really careful.
Miss, can you put fat captures on it to make it like... You have to roll them over?
You will have to roll them over, so let them cook for a couple of minutes. as it is, and then after a couple of minutes you'll roll it over, but we want them to go nice and brown before we roll them. Yeah, golden brown. It is starting to bubble. It's starting to get really, really hot, this oil. If it gets to the point where it is just starting to spit, so the oil is boiling and it's making those little bubbles and the bubbles pop, take a step away and just turn the heat down for your own safety. And yeah. No, not now the oil is really hot. The pastry will go crispy rather than soggy. Yeah, they're really, really nice. And a good serving suggestion for when you get them home is to serve them with a nice sweet chilli dip. Sweet chilli sauce dip.
Can you serve it? A duck?
Oh, which one?
Yeah. Mum, I had to try these last night in my it's like my godparents. Yeah. Look at the carrot, man.
Carrot's dancing its way around the pan. I'll take the carrot out.
It smells so nice. You got a lot of me?
Chickpeas, lemon, garlic, oil, tahini paste. She's just out there. Right. I'll come and speak to you.
Who's that? Riley? Can you get like spicy? No way.
There's kitchen roll on the back. There's kitchen roll on the back, and then he can go to Miss Lavin if he needs to.
I know what you're going to do. It smells so nice.
Right, 3, 2, 1. As they start to brown on the bottom, you can turn them over, roll them over.
It looks so good.
It won't be. And you'll probably turn them a few times. So, a couple of minutes on one side, turn them over, a couple of minutes on another side, let them go brown, then maybe turn them once or twice more. So they are starting to go crispy on the top. Cooking the vegetables on the inside, yeah. If you were going to make meat ones of these at home, if you wanted to make meat ones, if you are not deep frying them, if you're doing it shallow fried like this, I would put the meat in cooked. So cook or fry off some chicken or some duck, or you can, duck spring rolls, chicken spring rolls, and you can add that into with the vegetables.
This was lamb.
Lamb, yeah.
It smells nice.
And just keep turning them on all sides so that you get a nice even colour. That one on the edge doesn't.
Miss, would you take about to enjoy eating these?
Not even that. 5-6 minutes.
No, it's not.
I'm going to eat one of them, so I'll probably eat one of them and then I'll give the rest to somebody else.
Miss, will you give them to all the people over there?
Right. And 3, 2, 1. When they are cooked, your best bet is to get a piece of kitchen roll, pop it on your work surface, and then take them out, put them onto the kitchen roll, and it will just absorb some of that extra fat that's on the pastry so that they're not absolutely covered in greasy fat. And then they're done, and it's as simple as that. So, bit of kitchen roll. Ooh. There's an example of it starting to hiss. I'm going to turn the heat right down.
It's a nice sound.
I'm going to take them out of the pan. Yeah, it is spitting, so just be careful. I'm going to put that where the heat hasn't been on now.
That's why it's chewy.
Shh. Just roll them onto the kitchen roll just to absorb some of the fat from it. And this will be the only lesson where you don't have to wash your pan. You can leave your pan on the side because you can't put oil in the sink because it will solidify and block your drains. You can't pour it in the bin because it's too hot and it makes a mess. So it has to be left to cool down, and then we will dispose of it in the correct way afterwards. That's the end of the demonstration.